Hello. As I approached Ellis's house this morning, the Harley purred contentedly on the quiet residential streets. Today was the day, and as I parked up outside, I took off my helmet and lit 2 cigarettes. One for me and one for the devil. 5 minutes later, and Ellis was running out of his front door, near falling down the steps. I handed him his leather jacket. He jumped on the back, locked his arms around my waist, and we were away. I turned on the inter-helmet intercom. This is Delta Force Dark Ops A+ 100% Mega. Call sign Switchblade. Come in, Dormouse. Do you read me? John, sorry, Switchblade. I'm scared. Received, Dormouse. No one ever said being a digital pioneer was going to be easy. For people like us, the world can look hella dark at times. But the world is a dark place.
Hella.
Especially when you're traveling at the speed of light. I opened up the throttle until the streets were a blur of Ryman's, Pretz, and Tesco Expry. As we rounded Regent's Park Station and began the approach to New Broadcasting House, Ellis's arms tightened around my waist. Here we were, 2 trailblazers about to make history by becoming the first podcast to move from commercial indie radio to commercial digital indie radio with a Strongbow Dark Fruits demographic to terrestrial radio first podcast second offering to a non-linear podcast first terrestrial broadcast to the bleeding edge of content, a terrestrial commercial hybrid licensing agreement that was going to bring content into the 22nd century. Outside New Broadcasting House, we began to pass our fellow presenters. Many began to applaud, and Adrian Charles blew bubbles in his Five Guys Oreo milkshake. Rachel Burden had brought handmade Elis and John gingerbread men and was handing them out to the waiting crowds. Naga Manchetti had made a sign. It said, quite simply, Britain says thanks. As I parked the Harley, a guard of honour formed as we walked down through arms raised aloft. Even Rick Edwards shot us a grin whilst doffing his no-fear cap. At the lectern, the assembled press parted to make way, and the Prime Minister shook our hands. He stepped behind the microphone to speak. I speak to you today from a Britain that expects. A Britain that asks of us, can you be bolder? Can you be better? Well, today I say to you, what Britain asks will be answered. What Britain demands will be delivered. Today is about breaking boundaries and building bridges. Today is about a BBC that doesn't balk at the scale of the challenge nor buckle under pressure, but looks its competitors straight in the eye and says, bring it on. Thanks to Elis and John, Britain is a little brighter. Thanks to the BBC, Britain is a little braver. And I'd like to take this opportunity to announce that John will be knighted in the birthday honours. He will also be receiving the Order of the Garter and the George Cross for bravery in peacetime. Ellis, I know that due to your radical ideology, you would not accept an honour from the King.
No?
For the record, it would have been an MBE.
Oh, thanks.
As the cameras flashed, we were mobbed by potential sponsors. I'd kept my helmet on as a power play, so was well placed to fend them off. John, Mike Stevens from Fuse Energy. Would you consider us? Now's not the time, Mike. We have work to do. John, Claire Collingwood, NordVPN. Would your listeners be interested in protecting themselves over public Wi-Fi? You know the drill, Claire. Leave a message with my PA Samantha. Then a bad-looking man with bad hair who smelled bad and had bad clothes approached Ellis. Ellis, it's Jim from Paddy Pow. I disabled him with a Secret Service karate chop and pinned him to the floor. I guess the fun just stopped, Jim. Once inside the BBC, the Prime Minister turned to us. Looking forward to your date with Destiny, he said. Oh, Keir, I've had to push that back, I said, flipping up the visor on my helmet. We've got a more important date with our listeners. And I almost forgot. Our viewers, too. Hi. Welcome to tomorrow. There you go.
I think what adds to that is that throughout, John was dressed and is dressed as Dean Martin.
Oh, I've come in black tie.
John's coming black tie for the big day.
He's got his Rat Pack outfit on.
Well, some of us have made an effort. One of us has made an effort.
Well, to be fair, I did say to you, dress nice today.
Dress sexy at my funeral.
Yeah.
But this isn't a funeral.
No,
This is a birth.
No. Yeah. It's a christening. It's a christening of content.
It's a christening of content. Here's a cue.
Yeah.
Here's a cue. So I, as someone who likes running in the woods and the fields, but also more recently, the paving stones, I often am aware that I am coming up behind someone and that I am going to cause them a bit of a shock.
I did this the other day and I feel
Interesting.
terrible about it. Yeah.
Because they might have headphones in.
Yeah.
Or they might just
Yeah.
not hear you. Also, especially when you're in the woods and it's a woman on her own,
Yeah.
I am aware there's going to come a moment where she's very scared.
Yeah.
It might only be for a split second, but you're essentially a stranger running up behind
I
someone.
definitely frightened someone the other day and I thought, right, I can never do that again.
Yeah.
But the problem is the only way to avoid frightening someone is to say, I guess you would shout, runner coming, which is also going to frighten them. It's going to frighten them more to hear someone shout. So if you're walking, you might, I don't know how you would. So basically my question is, how do I warn someone of my presence
Yes.
without scaring them?
At night, people often cross the road,
Yep.
Yeah.
which I think is a good thing to do. I really feel terrible about this. I run it behind, the pavement was incredibly narrow because there were cars parked on the pavement. And I couldn't cross the road because it was busy traffic, and I couldn't run around her by running on the road because it was busy traffic. And I just ended up running behind her, and she went, "Oh, you gave me a shock." And I said, "I'm so sorry about that." And I think what I should have done and what I'll do in the future is slow down and try and walk past her and then keep running, because I think that's less intimidating than hearing heavy footsteps and panting, which is bad.
Yeah,
But it's not ideal.
No, it's not ideal.
But I often, when I did used to go out, I did used to cross the road if I saw women on the road.
But if I'm running in the woods, like, I mean,
Do you run it in the
the motto of someone who's a threat is I'm not a threat. So how do you communicate safe runner?
So I did it.
I'm pretty left leaning.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, on some issues, economically, centrist.
Yeah.
But, respecter of personal space.
Yeah.
Very much you do you live your life. I'm not a libertarian. But
You're not writing for Unheard.
I've not even heard of that.
Oh, okay.
But, all good. I'm actually working on my endurance today. I've got some gels with me. How do you communicate that in a sound, maybe?
Well, some of that you don't need to share.
Okay.
You don't need to share the gel updates.
Right, yeah.
That's just for you. I don't think they will care either way, whether you've got gels
And
on
not
you.
all attackers are right wing.
What's the least
No, it's a broad
intimidating
church.
noise a man can make? Oh, there we are then. Oh, goodness gracious me.
Oh, how about this then? No, I did it the other day.
I got a very negative review at the Edinburgh Festival once, where the reviewer said Ellis has the infuriating habit of bookending routines that don't have punchlines by saying, there we are then.
You can't not have a punchline and say, there we are then.
No, it was weak.
Wow.
I was having a bad gig.
Yeah.
And people weren't laughing at the punchlines. So I just wanted to. Yeah, I was having it was a bad day.
Yeah.
It was in 2010.
Because the problem is, if they got headphones in, even by saying something. So it was a very early run, and I was coming through the centre of Bramhall, and I thought, this could startle the lady, because there was a lady walking.
Was this
a bit
like
ahead.
5 in the morning?
5 a.m. It's still dark.
Yeah.
So about 20 metres ahead, I went, morning.
Oh, that's nice.
Just a joke, good morning. She turned around, and also, she knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think we're in an age now where I think most people understand that that's actually etiquette, because someone is coming up and they don't want to skate.
Yeah.
They're not actually saying morning because they want conversation. They're saying it to give you a heads up.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go morning or afternoon
Or evening.
or evening. yeah. Well, that's the problem, is if you're really out of breath.
Yeah.
It's like when
Morning!
like when a marshal says, keep going, and you're like, I'd really love to thank you, but I can't.
No. Or a little cough. Just as you're about 10 metres away. It's anything just...
I'm in practice, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or what about this? la-di-da. Something like that.
Oh,
Yeah, you
No,
could do a
don't do
camp,
that.
you could do a camp
Noise.
noise. He's like Kenneth Graham.
No, that sounds terrible.
Kenneth Williams. Kenneth Graham wrote Into the Willows.
Well, how do you know what noises he made?
I think he was famous for making camp noises.
Or I could, yeah. All right, lady. I could be like Max Miller. All right, lady. I don't know if I've dressed well. Yeah, I went down Brighton Beach the other day, riding a side saddle. Well, you've been looking to be funny all night. My dad, when he brought his first non-stick frying pan, kept the instructions and stuck them on the wall next to it
Actual real wooden clogs.
and set about eating what must have been north of 24 egg canapes.
He then proceeded to empty 40 litres or so of petrol onto the timber and strike a match. That's a mad.
Dads are mad. Dads are mad.
Right. We've got lots of Mad Dads to get through. They're all really funny. I've read them all, but if you'd like to submit a Mad Dad, you need to do it to the new email address, hello@elisandjohn.com.
How long does the old email address forward for, Dave?
Only 5 days.
Okay.
How do you know that?
Because I've asked you every week for the last 3 years.
It might be a bit longer than that in the end, but it's...
So you're giving me misinformation.
Well, they said a week, but who knows? I think let's just make sure we get...
You could also send us a message on socials, couldn't you, Dave?
Of course you can
At
send us a
Elis and
message.
John.
Yes,
on the
search out
social.
Elis and John on socials.
Yeah. Hello, my little trio of desserts. I've been thinking about how dads eventually go mad, with my own dad turning 80 the next week or so. How do they evolve? I'm blessed with a slightly older father than most of my friends. He had been in his mid-40s, so he'd lived a full life before fatherhood. Cue stories of seeing the Beatles in the early 60s, piloting a World War II fighter plane across America in the 70s.
Wow.
Flares and Tasha standard, and refusing to be Christopher Plummer's body double in a flight scene in a film because he wouldn't shave off the aforementioned Tash.
This feels very Mike Bubbins.
Yes, it really does, yeah. Something shifted between his heady bachelor days and fatherhood. He lost the Tash and we see the descent. This is Mike's theory. We're now living in a Britain trying to be better. Sustainability is king. Or is it? Coloured milk bottle caps have been phased out. Not one to miss an opportunity, my dad began hoarding them when he noticed. To identify the 2 types of milk my parents insisted on buying, the caps were intended to save seconds per fridge visit, to save him the Russian roulette of accidentally drinking my mum's skimmed milk. So it would have been skimmed red, semi-skimmed green.
Full fat.
Full
blue.
fat blue.
As in bottles in the 90s or 80s.
Well, even plastic bottles that you buy from the supermarket now, they have clear caps.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
they?
Yeah,
Yes,
a
they
lot
do.
of them do.
Yeah.
Some of them don't. I think there's still a few that have coloured, but yeah, a lot of them are clear now.
At first, he offered spare caps to visitors like a black market dealer. He's more cautious these days with supplies lower and no way to restock. The other week, my mum accidentally bought a different milk because of another packaging change, possibly rendering my dad's mad daddery right. My dad calmly produced the exact coloured cap required, despite it not being part of the usual lineup, like he's been preparing for this moment the whole time.
Wow.
This is a fantastic denouement, okay? What an ending. This is sensational stuff. The best part? During all of this, my dad's become lactose intolerant. He now only drinks barista oats. Thanks for the laughs, the wins, and the connections, Fiona. The fact he's lactose intolerant is the chef's kiss moment in that email. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Ellis James and John Robbins YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our weekly highlights.
And if you want more than just highlights, full visual episodes and loads more bonus content, including behind-the-scenes action, ad-free content, and our all-new Adventures of Elis and John series, head to patreon.com/Elis and John.
If you want to get in touch, email hello@elisandjohn.com.
And you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Just search Elis and John.
Ellis James and John Robbins is a significant production.